now. I think we're live. I will just wait for someone to confirm that we're all good. I can see the chat comments, but I'm not sure if you guys can see me. Okay, I've just had Chris say we hear you. Okay, can people see me as well as hear me? Okay, people can see me. Okay, we're good. We seem to be live. Thank God, because I didn't have any other buttons that I could possibly press. Oh, thank God for that. I'm okay at technology, but I'm not great. So if that wasn't going to work, I wasn't sure what else I could do. Okay, we're all coming through. Happy Sunday, everyone. It seems like we're live and we're good now. So that's good. Adam says, welcome in 2023. Have you eaten your lunch? That's funny. Last time I streamed, I was really hungry, so I had to end it because I forgot to eat my lunch. So yes, Adam, I have eaten lunch today, and I actually went out for pancakes this morning, which was really, really good. But I kind of had that sugar low after having them. To have retirement pot first, you have to survive in good health to retirement age. Yeah, that's very true. That's very, very true. Welcome, everyone. I can see that you're all joining, so that's cool. Phil, hi Phil. Phil is actually a patron, so yeah, he signed up to be a Patreon. So hi Phil, I'm glad that you're here. Phil says, started in October last year, £100 on the Strategy 100, which is one of Vanguard's funds, but found it very hard to believe in as I could only do 100. So then I switched to VUSA, which is an S&P 500 tracker, finding it easier and excitable with possible better returns. Yeah, that's quite a similar thing to what I did actually, Phil. When I first started investing, I picked one of the life strategy funds, the 100 one as well. And then I switched to VUSA, and now I have VUSA and Global All Cap in my Vanguard account. I feel the same as you. I'm more excited about VUSA as well. Some of them massive US companies in that one, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. It is exciting stuff. Mind you, what do you all think about how the big US stocks are plummeting a little bit at the moment? Are people buying, or what are you guys doing? AEMJ, another patron there. Hello. You've been on the Discord recently. We've been chatting every day, so it's cool to see you here as well. I'm sensing some technical difficulties. Yeah, I don't know what was going on. I think there was just a bit of a lag in the system, but we're all good now. Hello. Hi. Lots of highs. We can see you. Yeah, good. Decade Investor. Hey, how you doing? If anyone hasn't seen Decade Investor's channel, which I'm sure you have, go and check it out on YouTube. Very, very good channel. And Twitter as well. I'm over on Twitter too now. So yeah, me and Decade Investor have been chatting over there. Guys, you might have seen my post about this, but do you like my t-shirt? Oh, it's the other side. It says Eat, Sleep, Invest, Repeat, and the invest is in red. And I've fully merched myself out. Look at this mug as well. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it. I don't know if the white balance is all off, but it says Eat, Sleep, Invest, Repeat with invest and repeat ticked, and the eat and sleep not ticked. Not financial advice and not health advice. But yeah, I've merched myself out. The mug is actually, you can get the mug now if you want to, but the t-shirt, I'm still trying to find a better provider that's going to do a better quality. This one's okay, but if I was going to sell it to you guys, I would want it to be much better quality. So I'm doing my research. Good morning, good afternoon, the Rob Father. It's 4 p.m. for me, but I'm guessing for the Decade Investor and anyone else in the US, it's going to be morning time, right? Depending on where you are, I guess. Okay, so invest should be green on the mug. Yeah, I did think that actually, positive returns, but I guess it depends if we're in a bull market or a bear market and how you look at that. For me now, being in, a time of economic struggle, if you will, is quite a good thing, because I'm in that growth stage of my investing. So actually, I quite like the idea of being able to pick up opportunities now. When I first started investing in 2020, we had, well, all know what happened in 2020. The markets went crazy and I just stopped investing because it just scared me. And I thought I was going to lose all my money and everything was going to go wrong. And it's such a regret now, because looking back, if I carried on investing then, I would have probably done really well, but it is what it is. But now when I see the market go down, I just get excited. I don't really get nervous anymore. And I think that definitely comes with time, because it is really stressful at first. Chris says, too early to buy, let the recession take hold. Okay, Chris, so is your plan to let things carry on for a bit longer and then you want to enter? Or have you got your eye on like particular stocks that you want to buy and they go down a bit more? I don't know if you're replying to my question about the US tech companies. Investing with Shay says, hello, I use IUSA instead of VUSA. Okay, nice. I just picked the Vanguard option just because I was with Vanguard at the time. IUSA, is that quite low fees as well, like VUSA? I'm guessing so. Adam says Johnson & Johnson is in good financial conditions. Nice. Yeah, Johnson & Johnson, that's one of the ones that I'm getting in my VHYL dividend ETF, high dividend yield ETF. So I'm pleased with that. I don't actually invest into any US companies individually, just Tesla, but that's not inside of my ISA. I kind of want to pick some more Tesla up, to be honest. And I've got my eye on a couple of other US companies right now, but I don't know if it's like, should I buy them individually or should I just, I'm getting exposure to them in my ETFs anyway. So I don't know. A little bit undecided with the withholding tax that we have to pay, which is 15% if you have it inside of an ISA and you've signed the right forms, of course. I saw it on the mug. Invest should be green. Yeah. So AMJ says, would it be... okay, that reminds me. The topic of this live stream is the idea of like, if you had only £100 per month to invest, what should you do with it? When people start investing, quite often they don't have loads and loads of money to throw at it. And it can be quite daunting as a beginner to think, I only have £100, just for example, to invest. Is it even worth it? And I think that can put a lot of people off. For me, I did worry about that when I first began, but as time goes on, I now know the eighth wonder of the world, which is of course compound interest. And I know that if you only have £100 per month to invest, but you can do that over a long period of time, that is going to be more than worth your while. And I think that's just what I wanted to speak about today. Like, where should you put that? And if someone asked me where you should put £100, I think what I would say, and this is obviously not financial advice, I think I would say put the £100 a month into a passive, low cost ETF, and just keep doing that month on month, £100 in every single month if you can. And if you've got time, like 20, 30 years, that's going to snowball, and that's actually going to end up with a lot of money in the future. You could argue, that you could, depending on how you look at it, £100, invest it into yourself, improve a skill, and then that way you can make more money in the future. I do agree with that as well, but I just think for the, this single question, where should you invest? If I was trying to answer that for most of the people, probably I would just say, a global, diversified, passive, low fee ETF and just call it a day. You could also say, put it into a company you really believe in, and hopefully that will get you better returns than an ETF will. But that's assuming that one company will be able to beat the market. A little bit more of a risky strategy that. I got some. Okay. So anyway, back to the question. Would it be sensible to put the £100 a month into an individual stock that pays dividends? Okay, I think this depends on a few things. I think this firstly depends on if you want to be a dividend investor, right? If you're not interested in dividends at all and you're happy just putting it into something else, then fine, rule that one out. It also depends on the individual stock itself. Like, what is the dividend yield? Have they been able to consistently increase their dividends over time? Because if you're only putting £100 in, it's going to depend on how much you're getting back in dividends, is going to depend on the dividend yield and if they're consistently increasing it. Again, you don't want to just pick a company, I say this every time, that has a really, really high dividend yield, because that comes with its own risks, of course. We all know about that. And you've also got to think about your time horizon. If you've only got, 5 years, then you're probably not going to end up getting many dividends back, because realistically, you do need quite a big portfolio to get a nice amount of annual dividends. And you also need the power of time so you can reinvest those dividends. And like I said, compound, snowball those dividends over time. So it's really going to depend on a few factors as to whether that would be worth it. But there's no reason that £100 a month consistently doing that and reinvesting those dividends could allow you to build up quite a nice passive income stream. You could do it for sure. But yeah, it definitely depends on other factors as well. Hey, Betty Boo, I do love a cup of tea. Yeah, me too. Very British of us. I've got one right here. 11 a.m. here in the States. Oh, the Rob Father. Okay, cool. Whereabouts are you based? Whereabouts are you based in the States? I'm just gonna, I'll share my screen in a second. I just want to show a cool little calculator. Let me find it here and then I can share. Okay, hopefully this will let me share my screen with no problem. Let's try. Okay, hopefully you guys are seeing the screen that I'm seeing, the compound interest calculator. You guys seeing that? I do like to use these calculators. I think it's quite motivating to see how much money you could end up with if you continue to invest over time. But let's just take a look. Oh, sorry, I've got my Discord notifications on. Oops. Okay, so this is quite cool. So initial investment, let's just say you put £100 in. And sorry for you US guys out there, we're working in pounds. Interest rate. Let's assume that you're getting the average, let's say 10% yearly, but there's nowhere here that we can take into account inflation. So let's decrease that to 8% per year. And you guys could argue that that's even too high, but just for let's just have a look at this. Let's say you can leave it for 30 years. And every single month you're going to put in £100. At the beginning of the month, you're going to make that deposit. We're going to leave that. And then we're going to press calculate. And this is where you see crazy things happen. Okay, so let's just check it hasn't changed it, because sometimes it does change it here. £100 initially in. Interest rate 8%. 30 years, you're going to leave it. £100 every single month. At the beginning of the month, you're going to shove that money in. And you're going to leave it there for that 30 years. This is how much you would end up after those 30 years just by putting in that amount. And of that 151,000, 115,000 of that, which is, a massive portion of that, is coming from just the interest that you're earning, from that compound interest, that magic eighth wonder of the world, as Einstein said, which I think is absolutely incredible. Of course, you could play around with these numbers a bit. Like, let's say you were able to put £1,000 initially, and then you were able to put 500, which is of course quite a big jump. We'll keep everything else the same. Let's see how that changes it. Wow, look at that. Future investment value, 761,000, and of that 580,000 is coming from just the interest. And you can scroll down here as well, and you can see how this happens over time. So look at this. I don't know is that really small for you guys, but you can see the balance here. 1,000 obviously when you put it in, and then year one you're going to have 7,349, and it just keeps growing. And this is getting exponential as time goes on, which is really, really crazy. So I like to come and have a play with this sometimes and just think, okay, what can I actually afford to put in here? How long, what are my time horizons? What sort of interest rate can I account for? Like, it would be nice if it was 10, but then you've got to think about inflation. There are lots of US calculators out there that actually let you take into account inflation, but this one in particular doesn't really do that great a job. Select the graph option. The graph. Okay, let me go back. Let me have a look at this from, let's have a look. Okay. Right, let's have a look at it from a graph. Let me put it back to actually what we originally had it on. So we had it as 100, we had this as 8, 30, and then we put this as 100, didn't we, initially? So let's just see what happens here. We'll look at it on a graph. Look at that, guys. So that the green bars here are your deposits, and then the orange bars, like the brownie orange ones, is the interest. So look at that. When people say like the compounding effect really, really helps your investment journey, they're not lying. It's very small. I don't want to get this in the way. It's very, very small to begin with. Look, you're not really getting much interest, and it seems like you're never going to get there. But suddenly it starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is where it starts snowballing, and it becomes exponential growth where you're seeing that curve. You're not seeing this. Look at the deposits, right? And this is really, really a helpful way to think about what would happen if you put your money in just savings rather than invest. The green bars are your deposits. The same as if you were depositing money in a bank. The line is quite straight. The more you deposit, obviously, the more it goes up, but you're never seeing that power of the exponential, which is what you're getting from compounding, what you're getting from investing. And that's where I think it gets really, really exciting to see that if you just have a long-term attitude and you stick with it, even £100 a month, even £100 a month can literally be life-changing, which is, they don't teach this in schools. They don't want people knowing about this. There's a reason that we have to pay taxes. There's a reason, bear with me, sorry, my light just fell. I hope you can all see me still. There's a reason they don't want you knowing about this. They don't teach it in schools. It's up to us to find out this information and act on it and actually invest. So I'm just trying to get the word out, really. And I think that's what a lot of people that are making YouTube videos about this stuff, they're just trying to let you know that it is possible for an average person to actually become wealthy and sort out their financial future. See some comments coming in. Here you go, guys. Here's a reminder. The lighting's gone a bit weird, but make sure you invest. Okay, let's see what you guys are saying. So Chris says, totally, keep the regular investing going. But if you're accruing a war chest for picking up multinationals once fair enough, agree. How like in depth do you guys analyze stocks? Like, do you go as far as looking, like what sort of things are you looking at? Because I always make sure I look at, I always check the ability that they have. If it's a dividend paying stock, like how are they increasing their dividends over time? Are they able to consistently do that? What's their dividend yield? Am I a little bit wary of their dividend yield? If so, I'll do some further research into that. How much debt do they have? Are they producing free cash flow? What's their income statement saying? What's their balance statement saying? The balance sheets, I look at all that. And then I look at like PE ratios and things like that as well. So I try and like cover most bases when I'm doing my research. I do try and read through all of their annual reports as well, but sometimes it's a case of, looking at the main tables and picking out the pieces of information, because you do also get quite a lot of fluff in them reports as well. If any of you guys do decide to sign up for Patreon, by the way, you'll get access to the Discord chat, which is, I can see some messages coming through. We chat every day about investing. It's so cool already to see people over there. talking about different stocks and investing and all of that fun stuff. But if you decide to go for the VIP option, I'm going to do like a monthly one-to-one video call, which will be super fun. It's not going to be financial advice at all. It's literally going to be like, you know, let's chat about your style of investing. What are you looking at the moment? What am I looking at? You know, that sort of thing. So do check it out if you are interested. Betty Boo, good idea to invest into bonds right now. They react well in the current market. Yeah, the bonds, it's an interesting one. I've been doing my research on premium bonds, which US guys, I don't know if you have an equivalent of our premium bonds, but it's basically backed by the UK government and it's like a savings account, but you have a chance of winning money as well. So you can invest between like £25, £50,000, and then the more bonds that you have, the more chance that you have of winning. And the prizes range from, I think it's like 25 all the way up to 1 million. Just as a FYI. So I've been doing a lot of research into that because I was thinking, you know, you get 3% interest on that, and then you get obviously the chance to win. So I was wondering if that will be worth putting some money into that as opposed to a savings account, because you can withdraw it at any time as well, which is quite nice. But in terms of just bonds, not thinking about premium bonds, I've not really got exposure to bonds at all. And I'm not really planning to right now. At the stage that I'm at, my risk tolerance, my age, all of that combined, I'm not looking for exposure. But I do see your point. They do react well in the current market. And then it will probably flip if we enter, you know, a new cycle. So yeah, I don't know. I do agree with you. I just personally don't have any in my portfolio. Let me know, do you guys have exposure to bonds? And also, if you've been an investor for a long time, has your bond and equity exposure shifted in ratio as time goes on? Because quite a lot of people increase their bond exposure as they nearer, you know, retirement age or whatever, which is always interesting to think about. I wonder if I'll do that. Investing with Shay, my opinion, if you have £100, put £50 into an index fund and the other 50 into a skill. Yes, okay. I mentioned that earlier with the skill thing. I think that is a good idea. Invest in yourself. That's one of the most important things you can do, especially for long-term returns as well. Like, there's only so much that you're going to be able to earn from. If you've got a current skill set and you're not increasing that skill set, like, you can jump between jobs obviously and get a bit of a pay rise, but investing into yourself could really have that difference, could really make that difference, sorry. I like that though. I like that approach, Shay, about splitting it. Adam K says Vanguard ETF. Yeah, which Vanguard ETF, Adam, would you pick? If you only had £100 a month and you had to pick one now to invest for the rest of time, you couldn't change your mind, you know, you're going to commit, which one Vanguard ETF are you picking to put £100 a month into? Peter Phillips, hey Peter, easiest solution is to invest in VWRL and get a single share each month, approximately £80 at the moment. Then use the rest to invest in an individual stock that you research in detail and believe in for the long term. I like that approach. I like that. I actually filmed a video on VWRL versus VHYL literally yesterday or the day before. And I do really like both of them, but you'll see in the video. I basically just explain the differences and why one may be better than the other for particular investors. But yeah, I like that. Which individual stocks would you guys pick though? If you were to go with Peter's option, what individual stocks are you picking? VWRL though, really great option. So diversified. I think it has exposure to like 80% of the world's market, which is pretty incredible. Are you buying Tesla now that it has dropped? Oh, I haven't. It's very interesting to me though. I do like the company a lot. I think it was, I don't want to say it was overvalued for a long time, but it was expensive. It was very expensive. I did put some money into Tesla a while ago. I can't remember when. I think I put money in twice over a couple of months outside of an ISA, and you should see that right now. It's not nice. It really is not nice. Literally, it's just whoosh, all my money. But you know, I took that risk, and I'm going to leave it in there. I'm not withdrawing it, and I hope it goes up over time. I think it will. So no, I'm not buying Tesla right now, but it is a consideration. I put more, I'm going to continue to invest into my ETFs, which my Vusa ETF has got Tesla exposure, but it's obviously not purely Tesla. Are any of you guys buying Tesla at the moment? Gary says, I would, but either one of these two stocks that would pay you a dividend each month. Okay, so you would be looking, Gary, to basically start generating a passive income through dividends that would be able to pay you every single month. That's what you'd be trying to do with £100. Okay, people, I'm a bit behind on the comments. 4% dividend rate of 4% average dividend rate of FTSE companies. Okay, cool. I like this site. Select the graph option. Oh, that's the comment I saw when I went over to the graph. It's very motivating. Yeah, it really is. It really is. And you can play around with the figures. You can. I guess what you can think about is, okay, if I can put £100 into, I can invest £100 each and every month right now. But I know that I'm working towards getting more income. Therefore, eventually I'm going to be able to invest more each month. You can sort of take an average, if you can invest 100 now, but you think eventually you'll be able to invest 500, take an average, stick in 300 into this calculator and just see where that takes you. But it is very, very motivating. I think 8% is overly optimistic for an annual return. Yeah, possibly. I just stuck a number in to show you the calculator really, but yeah, I mean, it depends, doesn't it? It depends what you're looking at. What's the average return of the S&P 500 since inception? I think it's like 10%, but then you've got to factor in inflation, of course. You can't just leave that one out. Okay, Tommy says £100 into a FTSE 100 ETF a month. Very undersold last decade, with plenty of upside to come without the oversold tech stocks that the US market has. Yeah, that's an interesting way to look at it. I quite like the exposure to the tech companies personally. I don't think we're going to get away from tech anytime soon, of course. I think the world's going that way. So I believe them companies are going to be around and they're going to continue to do really well. But you're absolutely right. Right now, the FTSE 100, it's all about the FTSE 100. It reached all-time highs, didn't it, recently? And the S&P has been not doing so well. But that is literally because of what you've said there. The FTSE 100 doesn't have exposure to them tech companies that are not doing so well right now. It has exposure to, some really quality companies, don't get me wrong, but the more stable companies, the more boring companies that we have in the FTSE 100. And that's why it's done really well, whereas the S&P 500, it's done the opposite. But what's going to happen in the future? Alex Tronic says, hello, love your shirt. Thank you, Alex. I love it too. Which side? That one. I love it too. Eat, sleep, invest, repeat. I just want to wear it everywhere. But it's a bit cold here in the UK to wear a t-shirt right now. Just a t-shirt. Hi, Hayley. What got you into investing? That's a great question. What got me into investing? So growing up, my mum and dad never invested. They never knew anything about investing. But my granddad, he always invested. And he wasn't really one for picking individual stocks or anything. I think he just had a mutual fund or something like that. He let a company deal with it. But the point is, he invested throughout his entire adulthood. And he would mention it sometimes. He wouldn't really ever say much about it. But I sort of started getting familiar with the term investing and the fact that I can always see that he isn't financially struggling compared to some people. I know a lot of elderly people right now, they're having to sort of make sacrifices to be able to keep their heating on, to put their TV on, to buy what they want at shopping each week, food shopping, whatever. And it's sad. And I was able to see that my granddad, by having his workplace pension and by investing, he is able to be much more financially secure. And I definitely want that. And he always drilled into me how important it is to look after your money, to get more money, he didn't tell me to invest early on or anything like that, but he was very on it with saving. And that always like I took that on. I was always a saver. So then entering into my teenage years, when I started to get part-time jobs and stuff, I would do really well at saving that money, but it would just sit in my bank account. And then I was like starting to think about, okay, well, how can I make more money basically? And I started being interested in investing, doing my research, and then I kind of just got obsessed, honestly. Now I'm obsessed. Phil. Hi, Phil. Phil, I hope you've, if you're still watching right now, I hope you've been able to get onto the Discord. I sent you a link again. So if you have any trouble, let me know. We'll get you on that Discord and we can chat about stocks. So anyway, Phil says, looking at stocks for the future, I will only go with the ones I know of properly, that I use and have good stability for the future. Honestly, that's such a good point, Phil. If you're gonna, I feel like if you're gonna start picking individual stocks and you don't really want to spend loads and loads of time, researching into their fundamentals, looking at their financials, their dividend history, if you just can't be bothered for all that, but you still don't just want an ETF, which would probably suit most people, then pick companies that you use and that you know. For example, Unilever. Pretty much everyone's going to have a Unilever product in their household. You are a customer of Unilever. Invest in what you know. You know what Unilever sell. You know that you see their products in the shop. You know that they're popular. Maybe that's a good option. Or, I don't know, loads of other examples. Johnson & Johnson, whatever it may be. Rather than trying to pick a company that you just don't know anything about. Unless you're going to research it, of course. So yeah, great option there, Phil. Good stability for the future. Again, yeah, really, really important. If it's a dividend paying company, I always make sure to see if they've been able to consistently pay their dividends and what their dividend cover is. And if, for example, they have consistently increased their dividends for 12 years and then suddenly they weren't able to increase them any longer and they cut them, what's the reason for that? Was it something that they couldn't help and actually they have still got good fundamentals and good financials, or is the story changing? Are they under different management? Like what's happened? And that's the stuff you need to look into, because by being an investor in one of these companies, you're part owning one of these companies in a way. Yeah, a tiny amount, of course. You're not truly owning the company, but also in a way you are. So you should care about what they're doing. You should care about where they're going in the future and what. I know it can be boring to some people, but have they got a lot of debt? These are things that you definitely need to consider. And if you are like quite a beginner to this stuff, just start off, I would say, by going on to Yahoo Financials, finding the company. There is a section called Financials that you can click on and you'll get like free options. And I always show these in my like discounted stocks to buy videos. And you'll be able to see the balance sheet, the income statement and the cash flow. Just have a little click through them and just like try and highlight to yourself, what's the debt? How is that changing year on year? Cash flow, go and learn what cash flow is and see if that's increasing. Have a look at their revenue. Like everyone knows roughly what revenue means. So have they been increasing their revenue? Just start really small and just start understanding what these things mean. And that can really, really help in spotting some of those companies that you may want to stay away from. And there are definitely a lot of those out there. Hi Dave, I haven't seen you here before, Dave. Say hello. I started investing at £500 a month in Vanguard 3 months ago. So you buy 2 funds, VERX and VFEM, and 20% and 100% life strategy. Nice. You seem like you've got a good mix there. Wondering what's the reason for the 20% and 100% life strategy? Is that because you want the mix of the bond exposure, perhaps? 100% life strategy, by the way, guys, if you don't invest with Vanguard, is 100% of that fund is in equity, so it is in stocks. 20% will be 20% in equity, so in stocks, and then the remainder of the 80% will be invested into bonds. I believe that's what the life strategy funds are. Alextronics, I invest in VWCE, same ETF of VWRL, but accumulating. Nice. Yeah, there's on Vanguard in the UK, you can obviously find VHYL, which is the high dividend yield ETF, and I've got that one. And that's a distributing fund, so it pays out a dividend. But they do actually have one that is the accumulating version. but they don't have it on their own website. You can only get it through like other providers. I think Hargreaves Lansdown do it and some other ones, but I always find that really weird. I'd go with VGT because it's NASDAQ ETF in disguise. EGT, let me have a look. VGT, sorry. Vanguard's Information Technology Index Fund ETF. Okay. You've taught me something new. I didn't know that one existed, honestly. Okay. I'm just looking at this, the performance of this ETF over time. Okay, I see what you say. I see what you say about it being the NASDAQ in disguise. I'll be interested to see what what the holdings are in that fund. I can sort of imagine what companies you're getting in that one just by the name of it. But yeah, I'll look into that one. Belly pork, amazing username. Why don't schools teach this stuff? That's the question that I have. I don't know. I don't know. I'm guessing it's not on the curriculum because some people don't want it to be there, maybe. If everyone was really clued up on investing and was able to make their money work for them, you probably wouldn't have as many people in particular jobs. You wouldn't have, it would change the dynamic a lot. Maybe that's why. Maybe it's because, I don't know, learning how to calculate the angle of a triangle is considered more important. I don't know. But it's annoying. I really, really think you should have a whole curriculum on budgeting, on investing, on money management. And it doesn't even have to be in depth. People don't need to know how to analyze stocks, but just teach them that they can get their money to work for them. Teach them compound interest and then let them go out into the workplace and decide what they want to do. You can tell I feel passionate about this because it annoys me that so many people just don't know. Peter, Tesla and Apple are the main individual stocks. As the main individual stocks. Editing my portfolio update whilst I watch this stream and heavily in the red. Bullish for the long term. Nice. Yeah. Tesla, Apple, fantastic. Microsoft, again. Microsoft is working at the moment with Chat GPT, which could really change things for the Bing search engine. Maybe that will shoot up the stock price. You've got Apple, competitive moat there. Customers love them. Great fundamentals, incredible finance. They're the big players for a reason. Tesla, I feel like Tesla's really either hated or loved. So I see some people just hating on Tesla and some people that it's the only thing they invest into. I feel like it's one of them stocks. Bullish for the long term. Yeah, I'm bullish for the long term as well, for sure. Good point, Adam. Good point. Prize bond earnings are tax-free. So that's about the premium bonds. So if you do manage to get one of the nice premium bond payouts, which is just down to luck, honestly, and how many you own, is tax-free. It is absolutely tax-free, which is amazing. Not many things are tax-free, are they? So my tea's starting to go cold now. I should have drank that a lot quicker. Yeah, I think I'm gonna make a whole video about premium bonds actually. I've got some thoughts to share and I'd just like to get the word out there that they exist as well, because I didn't really learn about them until that recently. And I'm not saying I want to go and put loads of money into them or anything, but it's worth telling people about them and then letting them decide, because maybe the 3% interest that they're now offering, plus that you can withdraw, plus that, it's tax-free winnings and you could win. I mean, you probably won't win the £1 million, I guess. It's very unlikely, but you could. That begs the argument of, is that better than putting your money into a low interest bank account? Maybe, depending on what the interest in the bank account is. And that's where it gets quite interesting, because it is a savings account at the end of the day, the premium bond. So yeah, I'm going to make a video on that. Andrew Murphy, hello. What do you make of the UK DV? These acronyms are killing me. Like I said, I filmed a video. I think, was it this morning? No, I think it was yesterday, on VW. Oh my God. VWRL and VHYL. And honestly, by the end of that video, I couldn't even get them acronyms out of my mouth. It was so difficult. Yeah, sorry, I'm off on a tangent. What do you make of, let me just Google, make sure that, they're the Dividend Aristocrat ETFs, are they? Okay. If they're what I'm thinking, are you saying that those two are the ETFs that just invest into the Dividend Aristocrats? I think that's what you're saying. I'm going to have to Google UKDV. Hang on a sec, just to confirm before I give my opinion. I lose track of all the acronyms. Yes, okay. Okay, so the UKDV is the UK Dividend Aristocrat ETF, which makes perfect sense now why it's got the ticker symbol UKDV. And then the other one was USDV, which I'm going to assume is the US equivalent. What do I think of those? I've not done that much research, to be honest, but I do really, really like Dividend Aristocrats in general. For those of you who don't know, Dividend Aristocrats are those companies that have been able to consistently increase their dividends over a long, long period of time. In the US, you have to be a Dividend Aristocrat, it has to be 50 years minimum, I believe. And in the UK, I think it's 25. I always forget, but it's a little bit different here in the UK. So to me, companies that, this lighting's really weird, hang on. Maybe that's better. If that's too dark and you can't see me, do let me know. The lighting's gone really weird. Yeah, so it's really bright, isn't it? Is that better? I don't know. I do apologise. The light's really gone weird. And that's just going to fall, isn't it? Trust that to happen to me during a live stream. Just completely gave up. Do you know what? I'm sorry, guys, if this is really bad video footage. I do apologise. My light's gone crazy and I do not have the ability to put it back up unless I literally stop and go behind the computer. So we're going to have to just go with this. I'm not normally this glowy. I can tell you that. Yeah, so what I was saying is I feel like to be a Dividend Aristocrat, you have to meet that. You have to be able to increase your dividends consistently for such a long period of time. And in order for a company to be able to do that, they've got to be financially secure, stable, and strong. There's no way a company is going to be able to consistently do that for that many decades without having a good fundamentals. So I think just by knowing that, you know that these companies are going to be really high quality companies. I'm sure that there's an exception to that rule, but just in general. Therefore, I think the companies that you're going to get in a Dividend Aristocrat ETF are going to be very, very good companies that have long-term, been able to increase them and probably will continue to do so. Having said that, the only thing that I would say is think about the diversification of those funds. Have a look into it. Are you getting exposure to lots of different sectors? Of course, if you're going for like the UK one or the US one, geographically, you're somewhat limiting yourself, but you could also argue that the companies that you're getting are global companies. There's always that argument. But yeah, just think about the diversification and the fees involved, of course. But Dividend Aristocrats in general, I think, are fantastic. What is your stock market outlook for 2023? I'm a bit undecided, honestly. I feel like if I had to say, and this is literally a guess because no one really knows what's happening, I feel like it's going to start off quite similar to what we felt last year. And then I think moving towards the end of the year, we're going to see the market pick up a little bit. But I don't know. That's the point. We don't know. That's why people that try to time the market maybe and beat the market, it sometimes backfires because we just don't know what the future holds. But that's how I feel. I feel like it will start quite weak and then it will get stronger. I don't really care though. For me, I'm not coming out of the market next year. I'm looking for opportunities. I'm just going to continually invest. Every single month, I'm going to invest no matter what the market's doing. And then when there's an opportunity presented to me, I will take that opportunity and invest more. But I will always, always invest every single month without fail, always. So I don't mind what it does next year. I mean, to be honest with you, I would rather it not do that well just so I get more opportunity, you know? that will benefit me more, and it will benefit anyone that's invested more for the long term. But of course, if you're nearing retirement age and next year is the time that you want to start withdrawing and things like that, or you're working towards that, you're probably wishing for something a lot different than I am. Adam K, FTSE All World Vanguard ETF. Yeah, again, a global, you'd pick a global, I asked you earlier, didn't I? So you'd pick a global, a very diversified, a passive, low fee ETF. And I don't think you can go wrong with that. I love talking to you guys, honestly. Live streaming is so fun. Since I started the Patreon and I made the Discord, I've literally just been on it all day. It's just addictive. Because now I was saying to some of you guys, I don't really have that many people in my personal life that want to sit and talk about investing. Even my granddad that I said is an investor. He doesn't he invests and he's invested, but he just paid money to a company that did it for him, I believe. He didn't really ever care that much about investing like I do. Like, I'm obsessed. And now I've got the Discord community. I'm just chatting on there every single day. It's so, so fun, honestly. Just talking about different stocks, styles of investing, everything. I'm such a nerd with investing, but I feel like there's worse things that you can be obsessed with, right? And you know what else is kind of annoying? I feel like there's not that many girls. Well, actually, this might be... I feel like this is true. There's not that many women out there that are that obsessed with investing. And I don't know why that is. Like, why is that? Why do guys tend to care more and women just don't really think about investing? I don't know. I'm going to start telling all my female friends that they need to go and look into investing. Andrew, outside of ETFs, only single stock I want to top up more is Main Street Capital. Just recently started a position. Lots of people have been mentioning Main, actually. Let me just have... Main is one of the ones that pay every single month, right? I'm just looking at it now. Okay, so it's a US stock for those of you who didn't know. Do they pay every single month? I think they do, but honestly, I think about so many stocks each day that I get somewhat sidetracked. Let's have a look here. Right, I'm just looking for you guys. Yeah, so they pay every single month. Their dividend yield is currently 7.4, which is really, really high. And then annual dividends. Okay. I'm going to look into this one a bit more. I can see that their annual dividends have been increasing every single year since 2012. So that's a good sign. I'm going to have a little look into their, into their fundamentals, their finances and all that stuff. But it is listed in the US, which means if I was to individually invest into that company, I would have to pay withholding tax of 15%. So I just need to think about whether it's worth it for me to do that. Okay, guys, you've now disappeared. Where have you gone? I do this every time. There you are. Got the chat back. I can't be trusted with technology. It's funny because I work in a tech company. Oh, the irony. Yeah, so Andrew, I just from literally 5 seconds, you saw how quick that was. They look interesting. And some of you guys have been mentioning Main to me for a while. I just wonder if I would want the 15% withholding tax on the individual company. But then you could say if it's a long-term hold, does it matter? Does it matter 15% if you really think it's a good one to have? Andrew, I have a question. Are you, obviously you say that you mainly have ETFs and you only have one single stock and that is Main Street Capital. Are you looking to add more single stocks or are you quite happy with that? And also my next question is, are you based in the UK or are you based in the US? Oh, you've also said, oh, okay, you've recommended a documentary. Oh, okay, it's about crypto. That's interesting. Yeah, that's an interesting one. I'll add that to my list for sure. Thank you for the recommendation. I've got so many things I want to watch. Adam, hi Hayley. Hi Adam, how are you doing? I hope you're having a nice Sunday. Had a good weekend, I hope. Let me know if you've been doing any investing recently. Tommy, anyone holding Chinese ADRs at the moment? I loaded up a couple a while back. Let Tommy know if you are, guys. I'm not, but let him know. Chris T, I prefer LCWL to VWRL. Oh my God. Okay, so it's not an income fund. 0.12% versus 0.22%. So Chris is saying that it's an accumulating fund. It's not an income fund. It's cheaper and it gets similar returns. It has a slightly heavier American bias versus VWRL. Something you guys might want to look at then. Thanks, Chris, for sharing. I don't have VWRL or LCWL. But that's not because I don't think they're great. It's purely because I would have too much overlap in my portfolio if I were to add one of those guys in. Okay, people are answering, Tommy. Alex Tronic says BABA and NIO. NIO, that's an electric car one, right? Oh, what's the name? Oh, that's going to annoy me. I'm going to have to Google it, guys. Sorry. What is the name of that company? Or am I just getting this completely wrong? Or is that their full name? Formerly known as. Okay, that's what I'm thinking of. Never mind. It is an electric car company, so I wasn't completely mad, but I was thinking of their old name, basically. Adam K, £100 into Vanguard FTSE All World ETF. I feel like that's a pretty good option, honestly. You're getting diversification, exposure to lots of things. Betty Boo, Treasury bonds do very well in recession, but not so well with high inflation. Equity markets will do poorly in a recession, but it's all a risk. Yeah, it is all a risk. You've got to do risk versus reward, haven't you? And that leads me on actually to the argument of people that are new to investing, and I understand it. People saying, oh, but isn't investing gambling? Isn't it risky? There's always going to be some risk. Always. You're going to get risk with whatever you do. I just like to say there is risk with leaving your money in a bank account because of inflation. If you're getting a low interest rate, there's risk of not investing. You know, investing is relatively not that risky compared to a lot of things that you could do with your money. If you think about your risk tolerance and you invest by that risk tolerance that you have, pick something less risky if you're worried about it, I guess. Okay, Tommy and Alex have the same stocks. That's interesting. I don't personally have either of those two. I did what was the name of the company? I invested into an electric car company, not Tesla. It was about a year ago, and I can't for the life of me remember what the name of the company was, and I don't know why. It will come back to me as soon as I'm not on live, of course. But it was going a bit crazy. Like, people were thinking it's going to be the next Tesla. It's going to do really, really well. If anyone wants to guess the name of the company, I'll recognize it when I see it. I just can't think right now. And I just kind of got carried away in that. I had a bit of FOMO and I thought, oh, yeah, this is going to be the next Tesla. I want in on that. And I jumped the gun a bit, and of course it didn't do that well, but lesson learnt there. Don't let emotions get in the way of your investing. Hello, chat. Hello, Hayley. Hello, Athena. How are you doing? I'm new here, but I've been watching your videos for a while. It's nice to see more females talking about finance and investing. That's a really nice comment. I like to hear that, because I feel like there's not many, and it's sad, and I don't know why it is the case. And I was really nervous about putting myself out there as someone that wanted to talk about investing, because I felt like no one would take me seriously, and people would just think, oh, I'm not listening to her purely because she's a female, which makes no sense, like literally no sense. But I did worry about that. I'm over it now. I'm enjoying learning and making videos, so I'm over it. But yeah, I'm glad that you've pointed that out, and you've been enjoying the videos, so thank you. I hope you stick around, and I hope you enjoy lots of videos coming up. I'm posting 4 times a week right now. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. And then on the days that I'm not posting, I'm posting a short video. And then today, for example, I'm doing a live stream now, and at 6 o'clock, so in 1 hour's time, I have a video coming out and I'll be on the premiere of that. So when this live stream's finished, if you do want to go and watch that video, I hope you do, let me know in the premiere chat of that video that you were from this live stream. Okay, anyway, I'm getting carried away. IDS looks like a good buy, 7% dividend, and the company is almost at 2020 lows. People have got out recently because of the strikes. Buy when people are fearful, the strikes won't last forever. Yeah, I can't really comment on the company that much, just because I haven't researched into it, but you've made a fantastic point. You know, Warren Buffett has said, let me get this right, be fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. Yes, get your bargains, guys. Okay, VGT has a lower expense ratio than QQQ. Yeah, it's important to think about expense ratios because at the end of the day, you're an investor. You want to make money. You want to keep as much money as you can. Therefore, you don't want to be paying really high fees. It's simple as that, you know. So definitely think about expense ratio. Having said that, if the expense ratio between two things is really, really small, like a 0%, and you prefer holdings in one over the other or whatever it may be, you prefer the platform that is offered on one, whatever, don't worry too much, you know, but it does add up over time, so just think about it. Would Prince Harry invest into VEU or VOO? Good question. No idea. You'll have to ask Prince Harry that question. Vanguard Total Bond Market Index Fund ETF, maybe if you want bond exposure. Yeah. So yeah, good thing to point out there, Tommy, that if you do want bond exposure, there's lots of bond ETFs out there. Yeah, purely for the bond exposure. That was about the why you have both life strategies. That makes sense then. If you want the bond exposure, you want it, you know, you want a bit of a mix there. There is a 60-40 one, right, Dave? They've got a Vanguard. I wonder if you can get a lower expense ratio by opting for the 60-40 rather than doing 100 plus the 20. Just a thought. Have a look. People are saying that the video is overexposed. Yeah, it is. I can't. It's basically because I've got a light here and it's normally above me, so I don't look overexposed, but it's fallen. So now it's all coming at this side of my face. I can try and turn it down a little bit more. Like that might be better. I hope that's better. I'm sorry. It doesn't normally fall. It's just having a bit of a paddy, I think. It's not happy that we're on a live. It doesn't want to be at work right now. It's fine. We move on, guys. We move on. We'll still have a good chat, whether you can see me well or not. The important thing is my t-shirt, to be honest. You don't need to see my face. It's the t-shirt. That's where it's at. Oh, this side. Eat, sleep, invest, repeat. That's a motto that we should all live by. Maybe, yeah. Eat, sleep, invest, repeat. Maybe don't follow what the mug says. Have there been any videos of mine that you've been particularly liking at the moment, by the way? Let me know. I'll make more of that style of content if there's something that you've been really liking. I'm waiting for USD to fall before investing back into the American markets. Yeah. I waited a while to invest into a particular fund that I was buying because of the weak pound compared to the dollar. It fell a little bit, the pound went up a little bit and I decided that was the time to invest, but I do see your concern. Many tech companies will struggle at the moment because of the high interests. Yeah, the tech companies are really struggling right now. Are premium bonds a good place to park your emergency rainy day fund? That is a good question, John. I think I'm going to make a whole video on premium bonds because I think there's quite a lot to be said here. Yeah, I think so would be the general answer. I think a lot of people have said that they would be a good place to put your, emergency funds. I think the important thing is with an emergency fund is, can you withdraw it when you need to? That is the most important thing because it's an emergency fund. You might need it in an emergency, so As long as you can withdraw it at no charge, then I guess whether it's in a bank account or in the premium bonds, it's going to be kind of the same. But the premium bond website is really, really helpful actually. So definitely have a look into that. They give you some really key points without you having to like scroll through loads of information. Overexposed. Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I honestly don't know how to fix it without completely moving. I can try and turn it off completely. We'll go with that. I'm just sat here in the pitch black room now. This is this is kind of weird, but never mind. Okay. Yeah, Chris, thank you. So Chris says it can take a few days to do with the withdrawal, so don't make it an emergency fund. You have to have them in the account for a full month before they qualify. Okay, so that is a good point. I think the point here is then if you define emergency is going to be the first point. If you have absolutely no money anywhere else, then probably don't put all the money into the premium bonds because you need to be able to get to some money as an emergency. But maybe like 60-40 would be a good split or something like that. I will always keep some money just in my really quick access bank account just in case, I ever need to pay off something really quickly or your car breaks down, whatever it may be. I don't want to have to wait a few days for a withdrawal if I really need it. That's a good point, Chris. Thank you for adding to that. Dividend aristocrats in the US, 25 years. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's what I thought. And kings are 50 years. Yep. Very, very good companies if you look into dividend aristocrats and dividend kings. If you are young, just try and invest as much as you can in 2023. Yes, Tommy, that is exactly what I'll be doing. Mr. A. Taylor 84. Hello, Mr. A. Taylor. One of my favorite single stocks at the moment is Phonix Mobile. Great dividend, great growth, and a stock that seems to be going places at the moment. Do your own research though. Definitely do your own research to any stock that is mentioned during this live stream for sure. Phonix Mobile. Okay, I'll have a look. I can't say I know much about Phonix Mobile. I haven't ever researched them before. But yeah, I'll definitely take a look. Thank you. Phil, sorry, had to shoot, had visitors. We'll watch again. You don't need to apologise, Phil, honestly. just let me know if you struggle with the Discord, of course. But thank you for coming. And enjoy your visitors. Unless they're unwanted visitors. Then maybe make an excuse and shut your door. Gary, my favourite stock is BIP. Yeah. It's split 3 times since I first bought it. You told me that on Twitter, right, Gary? Follow me on Twitter if you haven't already. I've got such a long list of stocks that I want to look at. It's actually crazy. Chinese Tesla. Oh, yes, it was no, it was Rivian. It was Rivian. Thank you for mentioning. And Lucid, another one. Yeah. Do you remember when they were all going crazy and everyone was like thinking that they were the next big Tesla? I haven't actually looked what's going on with them at the moment, but yeah, it didn't do me very well. Luckily, I didn't put much money into it. But it taught me a really important lesson, and that was if there's a lot of hype about a stock, don't panic. Like, don't try your best not to have FOMO, because if it is a really good stock, then you're probably going to want to invest into it over time anyway. You don't need to just go crazy right now. Like, take time, do your research. The most likely situation is that by you taking 5 days to do like some really good research and actually determining whether you want that company or whether it's FOMO and emotions driving your decisions is not really going to make that much difference. Like, the stock price probably won't go crazy in that time. It might, of course, but I think it's always better just to take your time, do your research before you go crazy. Adam K, men are more risky than women. That's why more men are in investing and doing YouTube about it. Yeah, I did see a video that someone made. Can't remember who. I think a few people have made the video, but basically, like why women tend to get better returns than men from the stock market, which is really interesting. Obviously, it's a big generalization, but I think it comes down to the risk, like you said. Like typically speaking, men are more willing to take risk. I definitely need to learn how to take more risk. Definitely. And some of you guys that watch me have told me to like take some risk in my portfolio whilst I'm still in the growth stage and still young. And I see your point for sure. So, you know, we can learn from each other. We can learn from each other. Gary, it was a woman who mentored me in investing. That's cool. That's really cool. Whenever anyone speaks about like someone being interested in investing, I light up. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then when it's a woman, I'm like, oh, that's really cool, because I just don't see many. What pricing plan are you on with Interactive Brokers? I'm getting hit with £3 commissions. Have you got an ISA with them, with Interactive Brokers? I've never had a normal account. I've got an ISA with Interactive Brokers, and I'm not getting hit with £3 commissions. So the way that it works is basically there is a maximum fee of £3 per month in the ISA. But if you trade, so if you make investments, the cost of doing that investment is taken off that amount, if that makes sense. And you also, the pricing depends on whether you're on a fixed plan or a tiered plan. That changes it slightly. But yeah, I'm not paying £3 every time I purchase anything on there. Definitely not. Have a look. I don't know. I only know about the ISAs, so I don't know if that's the case if you're just having a normal account with them. But go into your account and have a look what payment plan you're on and read about that. There is, if you just type in, if you are on an ISA, just type into Google like Interactive Brokers ISA, frequently asked questions or something like that. There is a page that has a lot of information about the fees and everything else about Interactive Brokers ISA. If you can't find that, let me know in a comment and I'll ping you the link, because that's really, really helpful. It is confusing though, their fees, but it hasn't hit me hard. It doesn't seem to be that bad right now. I'll do a whole video nearer the time when everyone's picking their ISAs. Andrew, I have Lloyds and Tate & Lyle, but not looking to add to these. UK investor, so would pay the 15% withholding tax. Okay. Do you have free non-dividend stocks which will either go to the moon or zero? Andrew, share with us, what are your free non-dividend stocks that you are betting will either go to the moon or zero? And we can make our predictions here for you. People don't seem that bothered about the 15% withholding tax then. That's what I'm getting. Adam K. If the ETF, Republic of Ireland, then the tax at the source is only 15%. Yeah. Yep, have a look into that, definitely. When you're picking an ETF, definitely see. It should, like on Vanguard, it says down the right-hand side, you just need to know about, you know, things that are going to impact your tax for sure. You're looking at buying Tesco, Aldi and Lidl's, Tommy. Okay. You're really wanting to expose yourself to that sector then, I see. I have noticed oh, sorry, I read that wrong. You're looking to buy Tesco because you've noticed Aldi and Lidl are getting more pricey, therefore you think people will go back to Tesco's. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. I've lost the chat again. Come back. Where are you, Tommy? There you are. Yeah, I used to shop at Aldi, but now I shop at Tesco because I like the club card prices and you get like rewards on the club card. And it's closer, so petrol makes sense, you know, all that stuff. But yeah, that's an interesting theory, actually. Better, the lighting is better. Okay, good. I'm literally in a pitch black room. The only light right now is the screen in front of me and my microphone, which you've probably seen in the videos is bright red. Other than that, I can't see 2 foot in front of me. I'm just glad it got a bit better. Hello there. Nice to find you on live. Hello. Hashtag DGI. Dollar. Oh my God. Dividend growth investing. Yeah, I'm trying to go on live at least once a week. It's really fun. I love it. It's so much fun. I get a bit nervous about being on live though. And it's not about talking to you guys live. It's about the technology, because I'm using a piece of software where it lets me share my screen. And it lets me have the chat and everything. And it's a bit confusing going between them. And I always lose the chat, so that's annoying. But I've figured out how to get that back now. And of course, the lights decide not to work, but we move along. But thanks for being here. You can get 3.25% now in an instant access bank account. Yeah. I want more than that though. I want a higher interest. It's nice having a woman talking about investing. I really relate to your channel as we are a similar age and started investing around the same time. I invested £50 in BA systems this week. Thank you. Yeah, I started in 2020 and I'm 20. Oh my God, how old am I? I'm 27. I'm going to be 28 in February. Oh my God. I always wondered why my parents never knew how old they were when I was younger. But now, I mean, I'm not even that old and I already forget how old I am. So I'm glad you like the videos, Adam, honestly. I'm really glad. And I'm glad it's relatable. And I hope that people find my content relatable as well, because I'm not just like loaded. I don't have £1 million in the stock market. I'm very much at the early stage and I'm really excited about it. Oh my God, guys, oh my God, this is embarrassing. This is live. Okay, I've got to admit something. I'm going to be 27. I'm 26 right now. Oh my God. I literally just got my age wrong. Live. That is so embarrassing. Okay, I'm going to blame this because I'm on live and I'm a little bit nervous. How embarrassing is that? Oh well, I've just managed to give myself a year back, so that's all right. BA systems, yeah, that's one I have in my portfolio. I'm keen to add more. I don't know what the stock price is doing right now. Last time I looked, it was pretty high, so I just decided to invest into it in the future. Because there was other things I wanted to invest into, but I definitely want more. Inflation will be over 4% for a while, so you're losing money with your building society. It's hard, isn't it? Because you've got to think about inflation. If the inflation rate is a particular percent, then you can wipe that straight off any returns. So if the stock market is giving you 8%, but the inflation rate is 2%, then you're getting 6%. You're not getting 8%. Same with savings account. Women are more careful savers than men and more careful carbohydrate drivers than men. That is why insurance fees... Oh, okay, you mean like actually driving a car. Okay, yeah. Women power. I love it. Yes, Adam. Car drivers. I like carbohydrate drivers. I'm going to call myself a carbohydrate driver from now on. I like that. Yeah, so you guys are just taking more risks, basically. I had the chance of an apprenticeship at BA Systems when I was 17, but rejected it. Really regret it. Oh, that is a shame. But never mind. I'm sure it all worked out. I am talking about a stock that I used to work at the company for. I used to work at Reckitt Benckiser. That's a stock that quite a lot of UK dividend investors have. I don't personally have it, but I think it's interesting, isn't it? When you've got like some sort of personal tie to a company that then in the future you invest into. Because you've like seen it firsthand almost. But yeah, that would have been a fantastic apprenticeship, I'm sure. But never mind, it all worked out. You're here now on my live, so therefore everything has worked out. Barclays and Lloyds are offering 7% for the first year. Yeah, a lot of banks offer like a better rate for the first year or for the first like £5,000 deposited or whatever, and then it goes downhill, which is so annoying. Wow, this is when will we reach the rock bottom? All in caps, so this is a serious question. I don't know when we'll reach the bottom. No one knows what the stock market's going to do, and that's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. Just keep investing, be consistent, don't worry about where it's going. Just know your long-term aims, and everything in between doesn't matter. The ups, the downs, doesn't matter. Have your aim for the long term, have your risk tolerant levels, have all that in place, and then just don't worry about it. Easier said than done, I know, and when the opportunity's there, put more money if you must. Don't worry. Face and t-shirt visible. Yeah, I can't see my t-shirt anymore, but I also can't sit like this. So we all know it says right there, the important things. Oh, this way. Yes. I hope you guys like the t-shirt though. I really hope that I can find a supplier that will make them really good quality for a low cost so that I can sell them to you guys I'm not really like trying to make money on them or anything. I just think it would be really, really cool to see pictures of the t-shirt that I designed in your property. You know, not in your property. I mean, like, as in you own it. I don't need pictures of this t-shirt like hanging by your fridge. Just that you own it. That would be really cool. So I'm working on it, and I hope you guys like the t-shirt. Gary, hello Hayley. Do you invest on behalf of your partner? I like the Michael Jackson plaster. I do look like Michael Jackson, don't I? It's, well, hopefully only my plaster. Yeah, I ripped my nail, so I had to put a plaster on it. No, I don't invest on behalf of my partner. No. I do, however, spend a lot of time talking about investing, so it's probably actually a really annoying topic now. I also really want my brother to start investing as well, so I've been trying to talk about it all the time around him. People probably just get fed up with me, honestly. Like I said, I talk to you guys all the time about it because I'm sure no one else wants to listen in my personal life. Night Swimming, again, quite a good name. Currently checking my overlaps whilst watching. Thanks to the reminder. Yeah, it's a hard one. I found that when I was a beginner, which I still am, but when I first started, I invested into lots of different funds with the intention to have a really diversified portfolio. And I feel like I did that well, but then I was just having loads of crossover, and it kind of got to the point where I was paying the fee to invest into ETFs that I was already exposed to the companies of in a different fund. So there was just loads of overlap. So I just trimmed it a little bit. You'll definitely have overlap between those three though. VUSA, VWRL and VHYL. It's not to say that you can't have them all though. Like if that's what you want, it's not a bad choice. There just might be overlap, and if you're okay with that, then fine. Main Street Capital is a business development company, have special rules like REITs do. Okay, so like how much they're legally required to pay out and stuff like that as a dividend. Oliver, hello Oliver, welcome. It is it is dark. We're having a party, that's what's happening. No, it's because my light fell. I put it on, but people were saying I was too overexposed and I was really bright, so we're now just having a party. There you go. It can be back on if you want. I just might be overexposed. The lighting is like a Halloween investment chat. Sorry. I'll sort it out next time. I'll glue it to the wall. It won't happen again. Andrew, Astrospace. Yep, that was one that I did as well. I did that as well. I actually, okay, I don't know why I did this, but I put like a really low amount into Astrospace because I felt like they were going to do good things, but I wasn't committed to putting a lot of money. I'm glad I didn't. And yeah, like you said, they're down by crazy amounts. So I'm literally saying goodbye to the money I put in it. And that, again, taught me a big lesson. What about commodities like gold and silver? I have a couple of ETFs. I will keep selling when I'm up and buying when they're low and reinvesting into dividend stocks. I'm interested in adding some commodities to my investment portfolio, whether it's going to be gold, silver or both. I don't know yet. That's another thing my granddad always tells me. He says, make sure you get your hands on some gold. So there's the investing advice from my granddad. I'll definitely do it, but I'm wondering about like getting an ETF rather than physically having the gold or silver and then having to think about storage. Yeah, I don't know. What's your day job? I don't really want to share exactly what I do just because it's, kind of personal, I guess. But I work at a tech company, but I'm not like a software engineer or anything like that. I work at a software company. And I really like my job. Really enjoy it. I basically work in project management. I guess that's the best way to tell you what I do without telling you my exact job title and the company I work for. I share a lot already. What's your opinion on legal in general? The dividend yield is insane, but I'm a bit concerned about the amount of debt they have right now, considering the high interest environment. Yeah, okay. I see your concern. Personally, I do have Legal and General in my portfolio. And that was because I guess my reasoning for it at a very high level was that I wanted exposure to that sector. I put down all the companies that I could have exposure to for that sector, if that makes sense. And a process of elimination and deciding which one was best, I came to the conclusion that I wanted Legal and General. But you have every right to be concerned. What is their dividend yield right now anyway? Let me have a look. Let's see. I'm going to be overexposed right now, guys, because the screen is very white in front of me. Just bear with me a second. 7.9. Okay. Yeah, that is really high. Really, really high. I feel like with Legal and General, the high dividend yield, like on its own, doesn't put me off because I did lots of other research into their company. But high amount of debt with high interest rate environment could be a concern. I guess, like, are you wanting to invest into Legal and General and that's putting you off, or are you just sort of saying that other people should look into that? I recently turned 27. I know your vibe. Yeah, I forget my age all the time. It's cool, though, that people of a similar age are watching as well. I'm looking for exposure into green hydrogen at the moment. Cool. I have arrived. What did I miss? Welcome. Hello. I'm assuming I say your name Thomas, but if I'm saying that wrong, I'm very sorry. What did you miss? You missed my light giving up on me. You missed us having a party in the dark. And you missed my cool t-shirt that says, wrong side, eat, sleep, invest, repeat. That's what you missed. And lots of chat about investing in stocks, of course. It's not fun when you keep catching a falling knife. I love that you like shout everything. Everything's in caps. I love it. I work and still work for a FTSE 250 company. Okay, I'm not going to ask you to share because that's obviously very personal, but do you also invest into that company, or do you get like stock compensation through work? We love the tea. Yes, thank you. I love it too. It would be good if the slogan on your t-shirt spelled Eich backwards. That would be cool. I can't really change it now. Eat, sleep, invest, repeat. Yeah, it's not going to work, is it? But that would be really cool. What could you have for EICH though? I'll think about it. Hi Dave, welcome. How you doing? I'm going to start wrapping up in a minute, but hello. Phil, stop moaning at Hayley, lol. She's an investor, not a studio designer. Yeah, thanks Phil. I'll work on the lighting though. It's really annoying. It is annoying me as well. I just don't want to stop to sort it out because I don't know how long I'll be. And you'll just see me like panicking around. So yeah, I'm definitely not a studio designer. Gary, when I bought gold, I stored it in the tank. Am I reading that? Oh, because if the house was broken, yeah, that makes sense. I don't know would I want to physically store it myself? I don't know. Or would I want to store it elsewhere, away from where I live, maybe? Legal and General is one I have an eye on. Okay, so you're thinking about it. Already got multiple dividend stocks in the UK finance sector, but looking to diversify further. Oliver, what stocks in that sector do you have? I currently have Legal and General and HSBC, but HSBC is my smallest holding, and I don't really know what else I want to add, but I probably do need more exposure. Having said that, I have VHYL, which gives me a lot of exposure to finance, dividend paying stocks. Completely off topic, do you support a football team? I absolutely love football. Love football. I used to play kind of competitively. I don't really follow it that much anymore. I prefer playing than watching. But if I had to say, Premier League wise, I would say I support Arsenal. If you asked me any team, I like watching Spanish football the most, so I'd probably say Barcelona. Eat, invest, chill, hold. Oh, that's good, Chris. That's good. Eat, invest, chill, hold. I like that. Okay, how about, guys? How about we do this t-shirt first that I'm wearing? We do a drop on that. You know, I'll get some pre-orders in, see what people want, do that one, get rid of them, and then the next one can be that eat, invest, chill, hold if people want it. Or we can just do round 2 of this, maybe on a different color t-shirt or a jumper, whatever you want. That'd be cool though. I like that idea. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 more minutes, guys. I'm gonna end this at past. But remember, I'm gonna be the video's coming out at 6. It's a good one tonight. It's how much my dividend portfolio paid me in December. So definitely watch that. And come on the chat, come on the Premier chat. I'll be there. Let me know that you were here. Are you becoming much more into choosing your own stocks rather than index funds? This is interesting. I feel like as you become more knowledgeable and more interested in investing, naturally you like to look at stocks because it's part of the fun, right? Like analyzing stocks. So naturally you therefore try and pick some stocks. No, I'm always going to make sure I have exposure to index funds and ETFs because I just feel like that is so important. So important. I'll never just have a portfolio of purely individual stocks, but I will keep adding to my individual stocks as well. So, sorry, not a straightforward answer there, Gary. Being a bartender, I'm investing in Diageo. Yes, me too. Love Diageo. I feel like we're overexposed right now. I feel like I need to turn this off. Right, guys, we're going back to the party. There you go. We're back. Yeah, Diageo, fantastic one, I think. I'm going to probably purchase more at some point soon. iShares has an ETF about price of silver and gold, so it's safer than holding the material. That's what I'm thinking as well, Sean. I don't really want to have it in my personal, like, you know, I don't really want to have it on me and worry about all that. But you can also pay to have it stored, right? You don't have to have it with you. You can still own it physically. And you can get like gold coins and stuff as well. Earn, invest, chat online, holiday. Chris, I feel like you're now adding non-investing stuff. Like we now have a chat online and a holiday here. I like it though. Imagine if your life was just them 4 things. Earn money, invest the money, chat online, have a holiday. That is probably like a lot of people's life actually. Yes, Arsenal. Woo! There you go, Adam. HSBC, Lloyds, Barclays, and you're not an Arsenal fan. Oh no, I've made some enemies. Like I said, I don't really follow it much, but I love playing football. That's what I care about more so. I just don't play it very much anymore. So sorry, Oliver. What team are you supporting? Maybe I do. So what do you guys think about HSBC? I'm going to have to end this very shortly, but if you leave comments, I'll obviously read them as they still come through. And you can tell me on the Premiere as well if we miss anything. But yeah, I added HSBC when I first built the portfolio because I wanted exposure to one of the banks. That's the one I picked for whatever reason I won't go into. But now I'm wondering whether that was the right decision. It's on my to-do list. I want to look more into HSBC and the other ones and really try and, you know, decide what I actually want to do there. Yeah, it's difficult, isn't it? Because I feel like there's some sectors where it's really obvious, which is the one you're going to add to your portfolio if you only add one. But other sectors, it's a little bit more confusing. Hypnotic Monkey. Hey, Hypnotic Monkey. I keep missing you next time. Sorry. There is a video at 6 and I'll be on the chat there, on the Premiere chat. So come along to that if you want. But thank you for coming anyway. Adam K. Invesco S&P 500 ETF has a synthetic replication, so 0% at source tax and only 0.05%. Yeah, okay. So yeah, just guys, I think Adam's making a good point here. Think about the tax of what you're investing into. You don't want to be caught out there at all. Kevin says, if you're interested in legal in general, there's a good video on the Dividend Experiment channel earlier this week. Yes, okay, I love it. Shouting out other channels. I like that. Is that a UK channel? Dividend Experiment. I've definitely watched them before. There are so many channels that I now watch and people that I talk to on Twitter and stuff. I get all their names confused, especially if their name's not like their name and it's Dividend something. There's so many now that I follow. Keep watching Hayley too though. Thank you, Kevin. I am glad you're still watching. I hope you continue, honestly. Okay. I'm going to have to wrap up. I'm seeing these comments though. I'm going to get to them. I'll take note of any questions that I've missed, and I will start the next live stream with those questions. Hopefully I remember. Tell me to do that if I forget. But yeah, check out the Patreon. There is just a tier where you can just purely join the Discord, which is where we chat about investing, stocks every single day. It's like WhatsApp, but about investing. It's fantastic. So if you want to join me on there, please do. Or there's some other tiers to look into on Patreon. If you want this t-shirt, if you want this to happen and you want this to be a thing, let me know. I'll make it a thing. Just need to find a supplier. But I want to make sure you guys want it. I don't just want to, have loads and then not be able to do anything with them. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Honestly, I love the fact that you guys keep coming back to these live streams. They're really fun. They're really, really fun. And I hope they're interesting to you too. Thanks, Gary. Thank you. Okay, guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. And hopefully see some of you guys on the premiere video coming out at 6. So 25 minutes. Hope you'll have a lovely, lovely weekend, rest of your weekend. And I'll see you very soon. Bye, guys.